and we will say assignment 3. Okay, and then we select this folder. Here, now we need to run our command in order to be able to install the byte and all the necessary React files and its dependencies. Okay, so we will say npm create byte at latest assignment 3 app. Okay, and then click on enter. So we will be selecting React, and here JavaScript, start with MNP. Yes. So as you can see, once we have all the necessary technology selected, it automatically creates an assignment 3 app, and then it creates the dependencies. It installs the dependencies and the SRC, the public, the basics. Okay. Now we have installed it. So let us open our local host, and we have it here, the local host. And everything that is getting displayed will always be under app.jsx in the SRC folder. Okay, so we will go back here and we will delete all the imports because we will not be using anything. Then here as well. Okay, so now we have our return, and then we will have a div element. Since it cannot be blank, it should always return something. Okay, so div. Okay, so we have nothing here. We will just say h1 and say countries list using API. Okay, so now we have our basic structure. So now what we are going to do is we are going to create a folder called pages under SRC and have our page1.jsx. So this is where we have our logic. Okay, so SRC, create new folder, pages. Inside pages, we have page1.jsx. Okay, so here, what we will do is we will go back, and then we will have the export default function. So before you add any logic, anything, always have an export default function as the first line of code in your JSX file. Okay, export default function page 1, and then something like this. Okay, now, so whenever we have an export, we have to have a return. So return, and return can never be a null. So we will have something called p, and this, let it say this has logic. Okay, now we have it here. So in order to be able to access page1.jsx, we need to import it in app.jsx. So we will go back to app.jsx and say import. Okay, import page 1. So it need not be page 1. It can be anything. So let us say import logic from / pages / page1.jsx. Okay, now after h1 we will be using our logic React tag. Okay, so let's go back here and see. You can see the paragraph that was used in page1.jsx. This has logic. Okay, so you can also use it anywhere. You can use it before the h1 as well, but it doesn't make sense, right? Because heading should always be in the beginning. So what we will do is we will move it back. So we have it here. Okay, now what we need to do is we will copy our URL and have it in a variable. Okay, I will call that API URL. Okay, const API underscore URL is equal to, and then paste it. Okay. Right now we have taken only the name and the flags. So if you want, say for example, currency or population or something like that, you need to add it under the fields. So if you need capitals, then you can say comma capital, comma, if you want currencies, you can say currencies, so on and so forth. Okay. So we will go back and we have it here. Okay. So I told you we will be using use effect in order to be able to call the function. You need to decide when to call it or how frequently you need to call it. So as soon as we open this page, it should automatically fetch the URL and keep the data ready to be displayed. So what we will do is here, before our export default function, we will have our use effect. Okay. And then now we have an issue. It says it cannot be called at the top. My bad. Oh, one second. Sorry. Not here. We need to call it inside the function. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So it says use effect is not defined. So let us define it. So since use effect is an inbuilt function, we need to import it. So we will import it from React. Okay. So we say import use effect from React. Okay. So now we are set, but it still has some issue. So it says requires an effect callback. So that means you have used use effect, but you haven't decided what needs to be done. So for that, we will say we want to run a function, and then inside that function we are going to call another function called fetch countries, for which the logic will be returned next. Okay. So the basic thing is you can of course add all the logic inside the use effect. It doesn't matter, but it is always easier if you just give it define the function outside the use effect, so that any changes you make may not affect it. Okay. So what we will do is we will have function fetch countries, and then we will have, okay. So do you guys know about the try catch block? You know why we use it?
To handle exceptions, right?
Correct. So what happens is normally, as
Can
I
you
told,
do it without the try catch block first, and then we can put the try catch block? Is it possible?
it is possible, but it only affects if the server is down or the URL is broken.
I think we'll just do it without it first, and then
Okay.
as a matter of good practice, we'll add try catch.
Yeah. So now what we will do is we will have to fetch. As you remember, we said we will be using fetch inbuilt function in order to fetch the data from the URL. So once you fetch something from the URL, you need to store it somewhere, correct? So we will be creating a variable for that as well. So we will say const response, because it is a response from the fetch function, correct? So we will be using the variable name as fetch, response, sorry. So we will say fetch of, so we have already declared the URL here. So we will be making use of the same variable name. Okay, API underscore URL. Okay. So, okay, response is declared, but it's never used. We will use it. Okay. So all the responses comes in the form of arrays. Okay. Now we need to convert it to JSON. So what we do is const, we will have another variable const data is equal to we are making use of response. So response dot JSON. So it will convert our data.
One second, Mridula. Just if you don't
Yeah.
mind, the link which you sent on chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, can you just click that? I want to see that on the browser.
Yeah. Here.
No, see, can you just stop sharing for a minute? I will share.
Okay. Just a moment. Mhm.
See, what I saw on Mudala's machine was a little more structured thing, but see how I am getting it in my machine.
You need to click on print pretty.
Yeah,
In Yeah, if you click on print pretty, then it will get arranged like
yeah.
this.
So I just wanted to differentiate this. This is the raw data. Now
Yeah.
I am going to click on this. Okay. Can you see this toggling? Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to share this. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, so what we did now was we converted the whole thing, the whole data into JSON. Okay. So now what we will do is
It
we
was
will
already in JSON, right? The data was already in JSON. Therefore, we applied the function dot JSON, right? Or I mean, is it the correct way to do it, or we converted into JSON?
no, normally what happens is since it comes in the form of arrays, we
Ah,
normally convert it into JSON.
I see. Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we are telling our compiler that this thing is needs to be done in JSON.
Okay.
Yeah. So once this is done, what we are going to do is we are going to check if there is any data. Okay. So we say if of data. Okay. So this is something called truthy values and falsy values. So if data is null, it automatically becomes false and does not execute the next set of codes. If the data is truthy, then of course it will have some values. So then it will execute the if statement. Okay, if data, we say set. Okay, set countries of data. Okay, so now one important thing is we have countries, right? We have our country name, we have everything. So each we need to define another variable called countries in order to be able to store the data. Okay. So now what we will do is we will say const of countries. So this countries, this value of countries can be changed in the future because there initially we will assign it as zero or null. Okay, but in the future when we actually have the data, then will have to change the data of the countries as well. So value of the countries as well. So in order to do that, we make use of use state. Okay, comma set countries is equal to use state. So we haven't defined use state, so we need to import it again. So we go back to our import statement and say use state, comma use effect. So we have both our inbuilt functions, use state and use effect hooks inside our page1.jsx. Okay, set countries. So countries is declared but never used. So we will be using this. Okay. So
Mridula, sometimes we use the word await something. Where
I
did
am
you use?
I am coming to that, sir.
Okay, okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just explaining the logic step by step so
Okay.
that they can relate to it.
Hmm.
Okay. So now what happens is, okay, now we have everything. So we will just go back. And then we will also render. Okay. So fetch countries. Why is it giving us an error? Okay. My bad. We need to have a dependency array. So having this, this is called a dependency array in use effect. Okay. So what it normally does is it will give us a few conditions wherein which it has to run. Okay, leaving it blank will only say, okay, we will run this once or maybe twice, and then we will stop it. Okay? So we will leave the dependency array as blank. Okay. So we have it here. What is happening? Yeah. Once. Okay. We will just go on with the code. Okay. Now, what we did was we just fetched the data from the URL, and then we are having it in our um, web page. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to render it. Rendering is just display it on the website. Okay. So, for that, we need to go through each and every element that was sent to us. So, now what we do is we create another function called render countries. Okay. Render countries, and the parameter for this will be the variable countries. Here we use the variable, right? So we are going to set the countries, and then we are going to make use of the variable countries, and then we are going to send it as the parameter. Okay. So now here what we now need to do is we remember in our previous assignment calendar we had a empty array, correct? So we are going to declare an empty array now. So const country list is equal to a blank. Okay. Why? Okay. So now what there are multiple countries, not one or two. There will be multiple countries. So we need to look through it. So for that we are going to make use of for loop. Okay. For let I equals 0, I less than. So what would be our end limit? That would be the length of the countries. Correct. So countries is nothing but an array in this scenario. So we will say COU countries dot length and say I plus plus. Okay. So until we have the countries, any number of countries in the list, we will be doing these things. Okay. So what will we do? We will have one other variable. Okay. So we will say let country, because we are looping through each and every country I mean we are looping through the country list or the countries. We will have only one country at a time during the for loop. So we will have a variable called country, or say um, element 1 or element is equal to countries of I. Okay, so we are looping through the list. So now we have taken first element of the countries list array, and then we are going to extract the information from it. So now what we will do is we will say, since we have an empty array, we will push the elements into it, adding a HTML tag. Okay, so we will say country list dot push of. So now what we need to do is we need to have a div element, because a country together will have a name. We will display the flag as well as say capital. Okay. So we will be grouping this together as one division, one um, element. So in order to be able to do this, we will have to enclose this all these things into a single HTML element called div. Okay, so div, and remember we always have to use a key, a unique identification number, a unique identification for each of the element in the loop. So we will have the key as country name. Okay, we will not use I, we will just use the already available information from the API. So we will say your country dot name dot official. Okay, because a country name can multiple countries can have a shorter version of their name, but official name will always be very unique to each of the country. Okay, so for that we will say country dot name, oh sorry, not country, so it is element dot name dot official. Okay, then within this, what we need to have it, we need to have our country name displayed. So we will have a h2 tag, and then we will say display element dot name dot official. Okay, so we will save this. Okay, and then we, after everything is done, we need to return the um, array, the country list array, correct? So now what we do is, before, just before closing our function, the last line would be return country list. Okay, now we have the logic, but we haven't still displayed it on the screen, correct? So for that, what we are going to do is, we are going to go to the return statement here, and then we are going to call this function. Okay, and we will call this as render countries. Okay, so as you already know that our return should always be a HTML tag. So we will enclose this JavaScript, I mean the function calling within the div codes. Okay, yeah. So now you can see there is still a problem. Yeah, we will come back to this. Why is this issue? Yeah, we will just see if anything is displayed here. No. Okay. Calling set state synchronously with within an effect can trigger cascading renders. Okay, so now what is happening is, it is just displaying a blank screen. Okay, that is because it might take a little bit of time to fetch data from from another PC or a system and load it into our system. So, in order to be able to view it, we make use of something called await and async. Okay, so what we are going to do is, just before fetch, we will let the compiler know we need to wait for this process to be done before executing all the other lines of code. So, now what we do is, we add something called await. Okay, so this helps the compiler understand, please do not execute until the fetch is completely done. Okay, so now we did it for fetch. Okay, since it has a lot of data, literally like maybe a million lines of data, what we will do is, converting it into, letting the compiler also know that it is of JSON. We also add it here because the list is very long. In order to be able to parse it, the compiler needs some time, so we will make use of await here as well. Okay, So another thing is, once you use await, you need to let the compiler know that this particular function will be asynchronous. So we make use of async function. Okay. So to let the compiler know, we have await functions inside this function. So make sure that it is in asynchronous order. So we make use of async, async function. Okay. So now you can see here, await is perfectly fine. So let us save this, go back to assignment 3, and now you can see a list of all the,
So just to clarify,
yeah,
async
yeah,
means that I have requested something, the data will come, in bits and pieces, right? That's what
yes,
it means. Okay.
yes.
And I'm
Uh,
going to await till everything comes, right?
yes, it might take a little bit of time. So it is not in synchronous, it is asynchronous.
Hmm.
So it might not be in sync with our CPU cycle. So it
Okay.
might take
So
some time.
as soon as you put it, did you get the output now?
Yes, yes, we did get the output here.
Okay. Just for my understanding, just remove that async and await, and you're not getting anything, right?
Yeah, it's a blank screen. 1 second, let me just save it and reload it.
Okay. Put it back.
Yeah.
So this is a very important concept then, right?
Yes, it's a very important concept.
Okay.
So whenever we make use of data, normally, even though if it is not, from an outside world, we make use of await and async so
So
that we
so
do
I
not.
think this exact function would be built as part of the browser design. I think, right? Our Chrome browser should be having this snippet of code inside it. I think.
No, no, no. This is, how do you call it? This is part of our compiler.
Hmm.
React. This is part of our React. But
Correct.
the browser knows how to react to this instructions.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So what happens is it will wait until everything is completed. So until everything is completed, it won't go ahead and do any of the other fetching or the functions. So whatever, see, use effect, what happens is, as soon as, since we haven't given any parameters into it, it will run as soon as you make a call to this or open this development server. Okay. So once you automatically start it, it will, use effect will execute as soon as you load the page, and use effect will go into fetch countries. So fetch countries is already asynchronous in nature, and we will be making use of await uh, until the data is loaded. So none of the things happen.
Okay.
So none of the other lines of code will get executed until everything is done.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have our list of countries. Okay. So let us just say here H2 element country name. Okay. So we will save it. So our country name is Cook's Island, Republic of Guinea. All the, you know, this one is there. All the country names are displayed, that whichever is fetched from this API. Okay. So now what we will do is we will display the flag of each of this country. Okay. So now what we will do is, inside this, after H2 itself, we can add another element called other HTML tag called image. Okay. So EMG, and as you already know, it is a self-enclosing tag. Okay. So for image, we need to give the source. So our source would be element dot. So let's see where our flags are. So it will be under flags name. Okay. So we will go here and say flags dot. We need it in the PNG format. So we will say dot PNG. Okay. PNG. Okay. Now Let us try to run it. Okay. See, now you can see the country and the flag, correct? But if you go somewhere here, you will not be able to distinguish if this is part of this flag is of Republic of Suriname or Dominican Republic. So in order to be able to differentiate it, we will add another horizontal line between each of the country and its flag. So what we will do is, under image we will have a HR tag. Okay, so this HR tag will give us a horizontal line across our
Very nice. Yeah. This is nice.
uh,
Yeah.
okay. So now you can differentiate. Okay, the country Republic of Suriname has this flag. Next, you have a line. So there's a differentiation between the country, its flag, and the next country and its flag. Okay. So now we did it. So we can say now you want the capital of this country. So now what we can do is, we need to add here. We have just name and flags. Here we can say comma capital and then save it. Now here itself we can say, after the H2 element we will add another, say, paragraph element and say capital and then say element dot. Let's go back to our REST API and see capital. Okay, see here we have it under capital. So we will just say element dot capital. Okay, we will save this and then we will go back here and you can see it here, correct? So we have country name, we have the capital of the country, and then we have the flag. Okay, any questions?
No, it's quite clear. I like
Okay,
this.
yeah, thank you, sir.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
instead of that PNG, what will happen if we add SVG?
okay, let me show you SVG.
Oh,
See, it's a little bigger. So normally how we handle it is, and sometimes see, you can see here, right? Sometimes it goes out of bounds. So normally our web page will be like this, correct? So it
yeah.
is going out of bounds. So we need to scroll ahead and see and everything. Normally, whenever we use SVG, right, we need to set, how do you call it? We need to set the size in the CSS. Okay, we need to set the size for image or the icon. Okay, so the icons are not always in a fixed length. The icons might be bigger. The icon element, the icon image might be bigger or smaller. Okay, so but this is within bounds. As you can see, it is of different sizes. Okay, so in order to be able to use SVG element, we need to set